In a recent video, I talked about how live-action reboots are usually some sort of mistake. You should go check out that video because I really tried to break it down as much as I could, but the short version of it is that live-action reboots have little new things to offer the narrative that it's rebooting, most of the time. This is especially evident when a cartoon series gets adapted into a feature film, like The Last Airbender. Condensing 7.5 hours into an hour and 40 minutes does not bode well for the storytelling. That being said, there is one cartoon that I think might actually benefit really well from its 2020 live-action film, and that is Miraculous, aka Miraculous Ladybug, aka Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. How many names does this show need? For those who have been around the channel for a while, you know that Miraculous is one of the main cartoons that we talk about. Even though it's no Avatar, the show has a lot of genuine charm and personality going for it. Add that on top of some potential for some really interesting lore to dive into and fun character dynamics, it makes for an entertaining piece of animation. Miraculous is currently done its second season, and season 3 is shortly on the horizon. While season 2 started to scratch the surface on new heroes outside of just Ladybug and Cat Noir, character backstories, motivations, and expand upon the already existing lore, for me personally, the show has yet to truly reach its stride in full. Although it's getting there. And you might be asking at this point, why would the show work as a live-action movie? What makes it different from the others you've mentioned in the previous video? Well, it's for the reason I just stated. The show hasn't really reached its full potential in terms of story yet. This is largely due to the fact that the series spends a bulk of its time with one-off episodic adventures with one-off villain of the week formats. Sure, it deviates here and there to give us a look at something more meaningful, and this is more evident in the second season, but for the most part, it still isn't super serialized, which isn't inherently a bad thing, but this show begs to be a little more serialized. And season 1 had practically nothing to offer in terms of lore. 90% of that season was spent with goofy, unimportant villains. Not to say it was a bad time, necessarily, but it left a lot to be desired. With this fact in mind, a movie of say an hour and a half or maybe an hour and 50 minutes has plenty to work with. You can trim the fat. You wouldn't even need to do that much. We can get more impactful character moments, more info on the Miraculous straight off the bat, a villain that might actually matter in the long run other than Hawkmoth, hints at a greater universe, maybe even a retelling of the origin stories of Ladybug and Cat Noir. Maybe change up the akumatized villain for this, maybe make Hawkmoth more human right away, and it would be perfect for a first Miraculous movie. It took us 2 seasons to really sympathize with Hawkmoth. Before he was just a generic, "Mwahaha, I'm evil," bad guy. But we later learn that he's doing what he's doing to save the one he loves the most. We see him deeply caring for Adrian, grieving and struggling. It makes for a much more compelling antagonist. I mean, he's one of our main heroes' father. That's inherently interesting. All they would have to do is streamline the important aspects of Miraculous into a feature film. This is the perfect opportunity to get real character arcs and world building right from the get-go. We won't have to wait 20-something episodes to learn about what makes our heroes our heroes. I wouldn't come to bat like this if it were a Steven Universe live-action reboot film or, say, a Star vs. Forces of Evil live-action movie. Those things have already given us the meat of the stories and lore. A movie really wouldn't do much to add upon those stories. Not to mention, since it's a superhero show, it will translate into live-action just fine, unlike a lot of other attempted live-action remakes. This is also a rare situation where making it a little more realistic and a little more gritty would greatly benefit it. I'm not saying they should turn it up to Titans levels of gritty and edgy, where it's just so edgy you could cut the air in the room, but adding that extra touch of legitimate darkness could help the audience take this a little more seriously as a legit superhero movie. Think about the Marvel movies, for example. Sure, they're whimsical and funny and outright goofy at times, but when it's time to get serious, it gets serious. Miraculous can still keep its lighthearted energy while also getting their hands dirty a little bit. I'm sorry, but I'm not here to watch a live-action adaptation of The Bubbler or Princess Fragrance or The Pigeon Man. Those concepts alone kind of lower the stakes. Even if they're actually threatening with their abilities on a technical standpoint, it's hard to take a man who goes cuckoo in a bird suit seriously when it's time to get down and fight. Now, this part worries me a little bit because it's always felt like Miraculous has been pretty out of touch with its older audience in terms of promotion compared to Cartoon Network or Disney, so they may be hesitant to go that extra mile. I went to LA Comic-Con panel back in 2016 for Miraculous, and it felt like I was at a children's birthday party. The live-action movie should not feel like a children's birthday party. This is the best chance they have to connect on a deeper level with their older fans that are very much existent. Of course, it all comes down to execution. While I think there is endless potential for a Miraculous Cinematic Universe, I also recognize that this movie could very well become something that I am not envisioning at all. And that might be a good thing, might be a bad thing, who knows? Regardless, I'm going into this cautiously optimistic for the outcome. I think it would actually be really cool to see Miraculous get more in the face of the general public with its best foot forward. And this is one circumstance where it may lead to the show actually becoming even better because of the movie, provided it's both critically and commercially successful. They could blend certain elements from the movie into the show, make it like a little more hardcore, like slightly, just a little touch. Forget it. Just give me a guitar villain movie, call it a day. But what do you guys think about this? Are you excited for this movie? Are you scared for this movie? Do you agree with what I said? Disagree? Anything I may have missed? Definitely let us know in the comments down below. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I've been Michael Williams, you've been watching Cartoon Universe, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.